I'll start with patient first. Um, have you ever make a video of like still images, then you make it into like a stop motion film? Have you ever tried something like that before? Was it a very hard process? How would
I
you
think
do
it
it?
depends on the method of the stop motion.
Mm,
Because if it's a drawing, I think it will be much more time consuming. But if it's a stop motion using photographs, then maybe it's slightly easier.
A question to Mr. Ridhwan. When you mention a film camera, right? You are mentioning the old school kind of camera that requires film. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Um, what do you think about phone cameras nowadays? Do you think it has what it takes to like take quality photos like yours?
I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but but dia ada beza apa, digital and the analog lah. Because the analog dia capture light and then light tu terus macam tattoo dia atas negatif tu. So dia memang totally light. And then I think because kalau analog kita ada the negative lah, the physical thing. Kalau kita nak rescan balik in the future, kalau ada teknologi lagi canggih, kita can always scan it. Tapi kalau digital, itulah kita just dia data and then the light jatuh kat sensor, dia just pixel-pixel. Dia macam a different thing lah.
We have a question from our viewer here. What do you look for when within a photography or a cinematic kind of video? What do you look into?
In terms of photography, I think because photography and filmmaking lah, dia the same. But with photography or filmmaking, you need to frame something. So to me, I think I wanted to find what is beauty lah for me within that frame. Because sometimes nak to put things in frame pun macam dia kena some sense of balance ke, harmony, colour, contrast or something. Dia macam pasal beauty jugalah.
For the next question, what is the one thing you learned during self-exploration throughout your photography career?
So when I was small, actually I macam minat lah benda tu tapi tak ada peluang nak buat. So it's like very late lah, macam tahun 2000. Macam dah dewasa lah baru ada duit sikit, boleh beli, boleh start to belajar slowly. Dan mesti ada failure. Kadang-kadang salah load, cuci tak betul, exposure time tak betul. Jadi basically seluruh proses fotografi analog dia memang learning curve lah for me.
I think for me it's just really to find out what do I really want to say, because I think taking film it's relatively easier than painting, and then the techniques can be learned, but the story that or the content of the work is more difficult for me. So I think especially if for the self-portrait project, I also realized I'm not only trying to express myself visually, but also because it's a self-portrait, also trying to find body language to express myself. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I have a question for you both, right? How long have you been in this field? And I myself, I don't know much about cinematics or photography, but I have friends who are all constantly complaining to me it's very, very hard to achieve the perfect lighting. Is that true?
What I try to do, just use existing sunlight or existing light source, simple lighting sources that I can find, not like those studio lighting. So I think studio lighting is definitely another thing, another level.
For me, it's the same with passion lah, because I'm more of a macam practical lighting atau practical natural lighting. Maknanya, but for me because natural lighting kita boleh agak selalunya yang cantik time subuh, dawn, during dusk, waktu senja. So could depends on the person itself lah, the maker, because some person dia sangat perfectionist and precise, dia nak in control of everything, dia kena ada setup yang lengkap. But for me, because I'm kind of macam guerrilla sikit, because Tiada Cinta Selama Muda is, or in English No Love for the Young, dia filmmaking yang agak guerrilla, dia macam no budget. So kita kena cari beauty within that constraint or within that boundary lah. So kita kena kenal diri jugalah. Okay.
As a cinematographer, towards Sien, who are the ones who actually inspire you and then influence you to what you do right now? Are there
I think there are many sources of inspiration, not just from cinema or photography, but of course we like to see beautiful visual work. But I think exposure to other disciplines are really important also. Yeah, not just in visual, but in writing or in other performing art kind of experiences.
So our next question is directed to Mr. Ridhwan. He said that he's interested to know that if you have certain principle of your own kind of story, and do you want to share to your audience?
But to me, I just realised macam hidup ni sendiri, life itself is kind of dark. So I think the work macam at least kena ada some glimmer of hope, some sense of humour. Yeah. Tapi the dark humour lah. Yeah.
Moving on, how did you actually begin your journey into filming or photography? I mean, do you have any advice to the people that might be interested in this field?
But photography is something that I liked in secondary school. So I don't know, I think it's just something that I enjoyed. I like to see nice photographs, I guess.
No advice lah. Because I think photography is basically dah macam embedded within our culture and lifestyle lah.
All right. First here, speaking of guerrilla shooting, he noticed that something is different from professional shooting and budgeted shooting, mostly in Yasmin's film. I think it's Yasmin Ahmad, right? So yeah. So where the quality of budget shooting somehow invokes a more nostalgic and local kind of experience within the audience.
Because I think it depends on the maker itself lah, the filmmaker. Because if the macam for Yasmin punya work, memang dia punya introspection tu towards kembali kepada nostalgia, dia punya waktu kecil, like Mohsen. Like for Yasmin work, my favourite is Mohsen lah. So dia, dan macam mana kata dia, yeah, it depends on the filmmaker.
In a way, we are saying like we cannot generalize like the style of shooting because everybody has their different way of preference. But even some with more budget, they can also evoke certain kind of nostalgic experience, just that it looks a bit more polished.
All right, I guess that brings us to the end of our session today. Special thanks to our speaker, Sien and Ridhwan, as well as the organizing team. Bye, everyone.
Okay,
Bye.